I was asked if you can use parts of an Rotring Isograph pen with other brands of pen, and we're going to take a look at that. So this I have here is a pen that I've kind of salvaged, and it's kind of combined with a lot of different parts. So this here is the barrel of the pen, which was a part of a .18 pen that I used to have for the Rotring Isograph, and I had to get the nib replaced. I don't have any cartridge or any anything here to hold the ink because I don't actually use this one right now at the moment. So this barrel is from the .18 pen, and as you can see, I do have the cap of the pen, which is a .18, and the nib I have was off of the .4 from the Isomars pens. Now I was having problems with those pens after I had them for a while. They were a lot cheaper, way cheaper than Rotring Isographs, and they just were not working right. I was having trouble with the ink flow and the nib of the pen catching on the paper after I had them for a while. I'm not sure why, what the deal was, but anyways, so this is the barrel of the pen. This is the cap, which is the .18 from a Rotring Isograph. And this here is the .4 nib from a Isomars Isograph pen. And I bought these in a set of, I think it was maybe 10 pens, 8 or 10 pens, for about $50, which is extremely cheap. Whereas the Rotring Isographs, these actually cost $40 each. So I got a whole set of these plus ink for only $10 more than this. I guess you get what you pay for, but it does work. It's just that the cap it's giving you wrong indication of size, and the barrel of this here, which is from the Rotring, doesn't quite fit properly onto this here. Whenever I tighten it on there, it's a bit too tight on the nib of the pen right here where this these little grooves are, where it screws onto this. It's a little bit too tight, and I actually don't tighten it down all the way completely with this. I just leave a tiny little gap there of like one little groove or maybe two, because if I turn any more than this, I think that over time with just heat and the cold, this might expand just slightly, and over time it might cause this to crack. But you could salvage them to where you put them together of different brands, but just make sure that when you do it that you're very careful with it, and make sure that you don't try to force the parts together so you don't break anything. And kind of like how I did there, where I didn't put the barrel all the way down so that it doesn't split this all the way up. But you might get the wrong nib size indication on the barrels or the caps of the pens. So there is always that problem. And one thing you never want to do is the nib, the needle that's inside this pen, you never want to try to take one of the needles and put it in a different size nib holder. So the nib in these here, it's actually different than the Rotring Isographs, because my Rotring Isographs, I am able to take this little part out and take the nib out, but it's different with these Isomars pen. They come apart differently. But you never want to take a different size nib and put it in a different size nib holder. So this is the .35 Rotring. If I was to take that nib out and put it into the .4, you're going to run into a big problem. And that is the nib of this is smaller than this. So if I was to take the needle out of this and put it into this one, it's not going to fit into it properly. And what that's going to cause is the ink is going to flow around the nib, and it's just going to be leaking out of the tip of the pen, and you're not going to get very straight lines. It's going to be a mess. Now, even worse is if I took any even smaller nib or needle out of this And if I put it in a 0.4, then even more problems. And possibly even worse is if you try to take a 0.4 and put it into a 0.35 or a 0.18, because the needle could get stuck inside of the nib holder, or even worse than that, it could get stuck down there and get bent, and you might not be able to get it out unless you use pliers or something, which then you're just going to destroy the pin. So if you do try to salvage pins and put them with other parts, do make sure you use an exact same needle size that is in the nib of the pin as what the barrel indication is, so that you don't have any mismatches in that. But that's all I've got so far right now when it comes to salvaging these and putting them together. If there's anything else that I come across or that I remember, I'll make sure to write it down and go over that with all of you. So let me know in the comments if you got any questions about anything, and I'll get to it when I can. But until then, give us a like, share it with your friends, check the links below if you'd like to buy a print or to support this channel, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching. I will see you later, and have fun doodling and making all of your abstract art or portraits or whatever it is that you do. I mostly do doodles, but until then, I will talk to you later.